It is now live. Did someone
Ah,
join?
no. Sorry, no. If you were not here, if I share, and it's just me, like the my last lessons where I don't have a TA, and if nobody has come into class and I start to start my lesson, and I share my screen, if
Okay.
somebody comes into class, then automatically my picture disappears, and there it just shows their name. If they put their picture up, it's great. I can see their picture. But if I'm trying to show things, I do it blind because my picture's not there for me to see. I just
Okay.
wondered if you
Well,
knew what that was
well,
or
it would
how
be
that.
more convenient if we are over here and then we will be able to help it out. But if
Yeah,
you are facing this issue again and again, I would like to request you please contact with the support team.
support team. Okay, I'll do that.
Well, I'm
Okay.
going to make you host. You can make me a
Okay.
co-host.
Yes, I'll make you co-host. Good morning, Victoria. Good evening, Victoria. Um, right, there comes Victoria. She's the first one joining us today. Hi, Victoria. Welcome to class. Whereabouts are you?
What?
Which city are you in?
Oh, I'm from Long Way.
Long way. Where's long way?
It's not in US, in Canada.
You're in Canada.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So no, that's still very far from me. I'm,
Yeah.
I'm in Australia. So
Oh, even
long way.
further.
Yeah,
I thought
even
you are in
further.
US.
No. I am an Australian host, a guide. So you will have me
Oh.
speaking from. So at the moment it's 10 o'clock in the morning. The next day, I'm already way ahead of you. What time is it
Oh.
in your city?
We are 10 p.m.
10 p.m. So
10
you are
p.m.
12.
10 p.m. every 28.
Okay, yeah,
And
you're
yours is
12 hours.
29?
Yep, I'm
Wow.
29. I'm 12 hours ahead of you, so I'm
Wow.
already in the new day, and
Uh-huh.
going along with that. Lovely to have you. There are supposed to be others joining us. I'm not sure why. They will probably come in. Some of them, it is late at night for them. We're
Uh-huh.
hoping to bring some of our lessons earlier so that it's not
I see.
so late.
I just registered this course in the last minute.
That's all right. I'm delighted.
By
It's
accident, I
always,
saw this class. I didn't know.
oh no, well, that's
I was
absolutely fine.
browsing, and then I saw this class. I quickly registered. So
Oh
I
no.
think I'm the last person registered.
Probably, yes. And then we'll have some live learners coming in as well who have
So
forgotten
you
to
have a list,
register.
right, of who registered, right?
Yes, I do. I
Yeah,
do
I'm
have a
the
list
last.
of.
I just registered this late afternoon, or yeah, late afternoon.
Right now you have yes, Victoria, you are in.
Yeah.
So that is awesome to have you in class with
Oh,
us.
thank you.
Very nice indeed. And hi, Elaine. Lovely to have you in class as well. Which city are you from?
Toronto.
From Toronto. Okay.
Uh,
So both of you are from Canada. You and Victoria are from Canada. Lovely to have you both in my class today.
oh, you're talking with me though.
I'm talking to Victoria and Elaine. Did Elaine not answer?
I didn't
Yes.
hear.
Yes.
Elaine,
Yeah.
you are in which city are you in?
Oh, Long Beach, California.
Long Beach, California. Oh, so one's in Toronto, one's in Long Beach, California. I misunderstood. Great. Welcome both of you to class.
Thank you.
I'm not going to wait for the others to come in. They will just pop in as they come along. I'm going to start screen sharing straight away with you. I do have James with me. He is my TA. He's my technical assistant. So if there's anything that you are having a problem with or want to ask, just ask him in the chat box. He will help you. And he'll also tell me if you ask a question in the chat box. But I would prefer it if both of you just kept your microphones on and we can just interact that way. It makes it so much easier and better. So let's begin with our, let me get to see if it'll make it. Here we go. Right. Now, today we're going to do Boredom Busters for seniors. I actually originally started with Boredom Busters for children when you were having your grandchildren over and they grumbled that they didn't have something to do. Then I thought, well, why don't we have some Boredom Busters for us? And from next month, I've got one even called Boredom Busters for pets. So there are things to make for your pets as well. So we really are expanding on that. So let's have a look and see. We learn from each other. So if you've got new ideas or there's something you do, please let us know so that I can either include it in my classes or you can share it with the people that are in class with you. If the people who are joining by live streaming, the best way to join is to register for the class. And we're not paid to promote any items. If we mention something, it's purely something we use. Right, a little about me. My name is Sue Murray. I live in Perth, Australia, with my husband, who's also a Get Set Up guide. And I've been an educator for 44 years. But what I like about Get Set Up is I don't educate anymore, I share. I'm able to share with my peers all the different things that I've learned to make and do over the years. And for me, that is very exciting. I love creating and making things, including puzzles. That's why I do the upcycling and recycling classes, because that's using things we've got and making them into more interesting things. And I also have a great love of animals. And that's why I do my Australian and African animals. I originally come from South Africa. I lived in South Africa for 63 years. And only 3 years ago did I move to Australia to help to look after my grandchildren. So let's begin. Enough about me. There are so many simple ways to while away the time that are within our reach. They're in our home. So let's have a look at a variety of things. And my aim for this class is that you find one thing that you go, aha, yes, I can do that. That's something that I'm interested in. That's something I can do. And so that is what I'm hoping for. We can do planting, plants indoors, outdoors. You can get rid of that huge stack of magazines that you have that are taking up and cluttering the place by just taking the relevant articles that you like and putting them into flip files. When they're in a flip file, you can then sit for coffee and maybe flip through beautiful gardens or flip through recipes or flip through beautiful clothing, depending on what you have bought your magazines for. You tear out things according to that, and with that, you are able to then just sit and page through them while you're drinking your tea or your coffee. You have also got your ways of listening to people. Very important to listen to people and hear what they're saying, and also to share your own story with others. You can do your exercises, very sitting down exercise, very aerobic type exercises, swimming, all kinds. You can play games and you can paint and draw. Those are just a few little ideas. Now, let's start with indoor gardening. Indoor gardening is very simple and very, very easy to do. You are able to just even have a single pot can make a difference to your life, because a little splash of color will allow you to be able to do as you are and have just something. You walk in and you go, oh, look, it's flowering today. Suddenly you're smiling. Oh, look, it's grown today. Again, you're smiling. That makes such a difference. It also cleans your air, because plants love your carbon dioxide. They give off oxygen. That's what you want. So it's a give and take between you and your plants. And if you chat to your plants, it's amazing how they grow. You can also use your plants for cooking. You can put a few plants at the top of the on your windowsill in your kitchen, or in another room if your kitchen doesn't have a windowsill. And the size of your pot determines the size of your plant. I have a little basil in my kitchen, but I have a basil in a pot outside my window. It's nearly 2 meters high. It's because it had the space to grow, it's grown. So if you keep them in small containers, then they stay small. So as you're cooking, you can go and pick a leaf of this one or pick a leaf of that one. What we do is we have a big jug of water on the dining room table every day, and we put some lemon in it, and then we add either mint to it or we add basil to it. It makes such a beautiful flavor to that water. And then it goes and infuses into the water. Sometimes we only put mint or basil. We don't necessarily put the lemon in as well. And it makes the water really nice. Also gives you the nutrients from those leaves. Flowering plants always are so pretty. They make it really interesting and beautiful. And you can cut them if you want to and put them in a vase in another room. You can give one to a friend, and it just makes it so interesting. The one pot that you've got in your bottom right-hand corner, that's actually my bowl. I took it outside to take the photo. I've got that glass is actually melted to fit onto the shape of the wood. I bought it in Bali, and that's one of their very famous things that they do, is to have the glass going onto, I've got it on a shell because I collect shells, and I've also got it onto the wood. And then you can pick it up and take it away and work on it and put it back on the wood. Just be careful because it tipples, because it's shaped like your wood. But that is, I collect gnomes, so I've got little gnomes in my garden as well. So plants make a difference, and they're also economical. You can put some seeds down, the seeds will grow. You can only put a few seeds as you want. If you do microgreens like my husband does for his classes, we have our microgreens. We just grow the amount of microgreens we want for the two of us, and then we replant again and have cycles of the different ones that we are growing. So it's really economical to do it that way, and to have color and to have some pots up and some pots down. You can turn it into a real feature in your living room, your bedroom, your bathroom, anywhere that you'd like to have them. Any questions? Anybody thought of putting flowers in different places? Okay, right. Listening. Listening is the next thing that is actually very important. We've got two different kinds of listening to devices or listening to people. And often listening to a new friend or a friend you've only known for 10 years, even 15 years, if you hear their history, their childhood, how they grew up, what, and you can see, wow, they're so cheerful, and yet they've had such a hard life. Or, oh, now I understand why they're so grumpy, because you can now understand the person. The other thing is very important, is to record your own life for your children, your great-grandchildren, your great-great-grandchildren, because children are interested in their history. They're interested in their past. I'm an adopted child, so I have no history. And I find that quite sad, that I can't find my family and find out my real family. I loved my adopted family, and I've got the history of my adopted family. But in the back of my mind, I would have liked to have known who my real family were. But one of the ladies at the in one of my other classes, the whole family got together on Zoom, all the brothers and sisters, and they recorded together. And now the offspring, the grandchildren, the great grandchildren, their children, can hear the history of the family, up until they all went their separate ways to get married and have children of their own. And I thought that was such a lovely idea. Anybody got any ideas about that? Okay, right. Now, the other way of listening is to use podcasts or audiobooks. There are hundreds of audiobooks that you can listen to, and most of them are free. Welcome, Vivian. Um, and most of them are free to be able to just listen to online. You can download them and listen to them. I do give you in the email websites to go to for all the different things that I talk about. So you have your audio books, your VibraVox has thousands of books on it as well. But if you're not wanting to listen to something that's quite long, podcasts are amazing. You can hear short podcasts. Some of them are as short as 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So if you're just wanting to listen for a while, a podcast is awesome. You can listen to the TED series on podcasts. These you can either watch or listen to, because mostly when the people are talking, they're standing on a stage, and unless they are showing slides, you only need to listen. And again, you just type in any topic from small plants to tours, trips, traveling, business, education, anything. You will get a particular person, you will get a podcast about them. And so it is quite amazing what you can listen to. And your iPhone is, or your phone that you have is it's got AI, and so it picks up on the sort of things that you are interested in, and the next time you go on to podcasts, it'll bring up a series of ideas on what you were looking at last time. So it's very clever. It actually sorts through for you and comes out with a lot of ideas. You can also listen to things that were on air or are on air, radio talk shows, broadcasts, science programs, and things that you listened to when you were a child. You can often Google it and find it and then listen to it. When I was growing up in South Africa, we didn't have television. And so the radio was your only form of entertainment. And nobody went out on a Friday night, because a Friday night from 7 to 7:30 was squad cars. And you can, if you are of our era, you ask somebody about squad cars, they'll quote the opening line verbatim every time. They prowl the empty streets at night, waiting. And that is so, anybody who ever watched squad cars will remember that. And I can now still find squad cars and go back and have a laugh as to how things have changed over the years, how this would be regarded as very amateur compared to what we have today. But with the advancement of technology over the last 30 years, we are now privileged to be able to use all these different devices and all these different apps to be able to make our lives so much easier. Any questions? Anybody used audiobooks or podcasts?
No, I don't use it.
You don't? Would you think of using it, Victoria?
Well, I will, but where can I buy it?
You don't buy it, you download it on your phone.
Oh, okay.
It's an app to download on your phone. If you go into your app store, you'll be able to download podcasts or audiobooks. They're all there, and you can choose which sort you want. You'll have a variety to choose from. So, and then you can just put your earphones in and listen, just relax, sit back and relax and listen. Have your tea, your coffee, and your biscuit or whatever you have with it. It's a lovely way of relaxing. My husband relaxes every night while I'm teaching at night. He relaxes for an hour before he goes to bed, and listens to a podcast or an audiobook, and has his night tea, and then off he goes to bed. And then I creep into bed when I'm finished teaching. Right, so let's see where we're going to. Now, hobbies, I haven't gone into the hobbies like sewing and knitting and crocheting and so on. Those I will use in another, a second one that we will do on Boredom Busters for seniors. So what I've chosen today as a hobby are hobbies that you can do online. So you can also do all of these on your phone, except for origami. Even your mandalas you can color online or download them and color them. Word searches are great. You can go onto a word search website and every word search just comes up. You can choose your topic, you can choose your theme that you want for that particular day. You can do jigsaw puzzles. I think there are 8 different jigsaw puzzle apps that I have on my phone, and I alternate between them. I'll get tired of doing one and I take it off and I put a different one on. And so there's never a lack of variety. You can also do origami, simple origami, more complicated. I do some origami in my tin cans and paper class that I do. We use some simple origami to make things, and you make it in class with me. You can do mandalas. They are really beautiful. And I was given a set of pencils by my husband for my birthday at Christmas time, where you color it in as if it's a pencil. And then you've got a special pen with water in it, and you just go over it and it turns it into a watercolor. And it really makes the picture look exquisite when you've finished. So there are lots of ways you can actually, if you don't draw yourself, there are so many designs that are there for you, and it's very therapeutic. And you can listen to a podcast while you're coloring. So you can, in fact, or you can listen to music while you are coloring. So you're getting the stimulation of the music coming through, and you are sitting coloring, and it makes you creative, and away you go. So don't think that you have to do one thing at a time. Very often you can include music or something like a podcast with an activity that doesn't need a great deal of thought. Then it's so easy to have the two. When I'm doing a jigsaw puzzle, whether it's the actual jigsaw puzzle, I've got a board outside that I work on, or if I'm doing it on my phone, I will listen to some music while I'm doing it. And it's great. I so enjoy doing that. Sometimes I listen to a podcast as well. You also get different games to play, like Sudoku or Bamboozle, which is called Nimbit on my phone. But what it is trying to work out what the picture is telling you. So can anybody work out these ones? We've got 6 pictures which are made up of words that will become either a phrase or a word. Can anybody guess any of them?
I'm not good at that.
No, that's fine. But I wasn't at first, but I'm getting good at it now as I go along. For instance, if you've got two lips, put that together, gives you tulips,
Oh,
the
wow.
flowers that are the tulips. The one next to it, how many times have they written minutes? They've written minutes 5 times. And we've got the word back, we've got the word 5, and we've got the word minutes. How do we put that into a phrase?
No idea. I'm
Back
not good
in,
at that.
back in. Was somebody going to say it?
Back in 5 minutes?
Back in 5 minutes. Yeah, back in 5 minutes. One life to live. One, there's life is only written once, and live is written twice. One life to live.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
The third one, fourth one, I'm not sure that this is 100% correct, but it's the only thing I could come up with was a trio, atrium, a trio, and then M, atrium. But that could be wrong. There could be a different one, but it's the only thing I can think of. 3 things. So I'm not sure. The next one is the word motion and go. Go is in the middle of motion. So on the go or in motion. Go is in motion. You are moving in motion. And the last one is the word is written clear. You can see straight through it. So the coast is clear. So that those are things to make you think. Now, Victoria and Elaine, and there was somebody else who came into class, Vivian, any of you who can tell me what is black when it's clean and white when it's dirty? What's black when it's clean and white when it's dirty? Think about your school days.
Black when it's clean. Oh, blackboard.
Yes, blackboard, quite right. Yes, the blackboard, the blackboard. I am a king or a queen, but also a common device to measure. I'm a king or a queen or a common device to measure.
Ruler.
A ruler. Yes, very good. Great. And when I put on my clothes, it takes off its clothes. What is it? When I put on my clothes, it takes off its clothes.
On my clothes.
No idea. I cannot think of any.
A clothes hanger. A clothes hanger.
Oh.
Yeah, it does that. It's so you've got, I'll actually include this. This is called a scavenger hunt riddles. You can do this with your friends. You can do it on Zoom with them. If you are doing anything like that, then it is great to be able to do it. So it really is great. To play with your friends, play with yourself. Think, which one is it? When I put on my clothes, I take off my clothes. It's a clothes hanger. Yes, James, you got it. Nicely done, James. He got it, a clothes hanger. Right, let's move on. And you can also play many card games. A lot of us grew up playing cards with our families and friends and parents. And our families still play cards. When we lived in South Africa and a lot of our children lived near to us, we have a very large family. My husband has 9 children. I have 2. So we have a lot. And they would come round to visit with their spouses, and we would all end up playing cards at some stage. Different types of games on different days. My grandchildren, whenever they come over, they want to play cards with us because they really do enjoy playing cards. You can play all of these games online. They're all available online. And you can then play against virtual players, or you can play against your own family as well. What I do with my grandson who lives in South Africa, we play Snap because he's little. So he holds up a card, I hold up a card. If they're the same, then he yells Snap, and then he's got 1 point. And then we go on until we've gone through it. And he really enjoys playing it that way. So there are ways of still being able to do it with your family and friends as well. You can play solitaire. You can play Go Fish. You can play bridge. You can play Crazy Eights. You can play Gin Rummy. So there are so many different card games that you can play. And somebody came up with a Kings on the Corner. was a game that I was told about in my last class, which is also apparently very popular in America, called Kings on the Corner. I'm now going to go and investigate it and learn it, and because I so enjoy playing card games. So it's fun to find out and do. Anybody play cards?
Mm-mm.
No.
No. It's a lovely way to while away your time, particularly solitaire if you're on your own. It's great. And there are so many different types of solitaire that you can play as well. They're all available on your phones. So you can play them on your phone and enjoy some me time doing that.
Mm.
We can also do different forms of exercise. There are so many exercise classes on Get Set Up at all different times of the day so that you are able to find a time that suits you, or you go onto your YouTube and you can find different one for every day. You can do yoga one day, stretch one day, and now that it's becoming summertime, you can swim. We walk in the forest every day. We have a small forest next to us, and we walk in the forest with the dogs every day. Sometimes we'll drive to the beach and we'll walk along the beach. So it really is lovely to be able to commune with nature, do your walking, and do some. You can put your earphones in, you can listen to a podcast, you can listen to music, you can listen to an audiobook as you are walking. So it really is nice if you haven't got somebody to chat to as you walk. But if you have, then talking to somebody is always the very best, because then you can communicate and talk about different things. So it really is great. Exercise is also a great way to maintain strength, balance as well, and stay active. It also boosts your mood and your immune system. So all of those things are helpful. Sometimes I teach till late at night. As I said earlier, I teach children to speak English and in other countries. And sometimes I'll get to a point where I'm feeling that I really want to collapse, and I'll stand up and I'll do just a few stretch exercise, do some deep breathing, go and stand outside just for a minute, breathe in, just get some fresh air in, come and sit down again, and suddenly I'm rejuvenated and I'm ready to go for the next 5 or 6 lessons that I've still got to complete. So for me, it is a wonderful way of doing quick exercise as well as doing exercise, just simple exercises of stretching at home. So it's good for all. Now, virtual travel. Virtual travel is an awesome thing to do. You can do it in many ways. Some people get the virtual glasses, and then you can drive a car through a safari. You can do all sorts of things. But if you don't have those, all you do is you type in wherever you want to see. Maybe it might be the London Museum. If it's a London Museum, you type in London Museum and up comes the website, and 99% of the time there is a place to click on for a virtual tour. And then it's as if you are in there and you are walking around. Now, for me, that's a wonderful way to see, do I actually want to go and see that place or not? Yes, I do. It goes on my bucket list. And then once I've compiled a travel bucket list, I can then work out where I want to travel and how many places I can see during that time, once COVID is over, of course. But while we are stuck where we are, we may as well plan for the future. We may as well plan for being able to go and see things that we really want to do. So this is awesome. I wish I'd had it when I was 16 years old. I went to the Louvre Museum and I wanted to see the Mona Lisa. And in my mind, I had this beautiful big painting of the Mona Lisa I was looking for, and I couldn't find it anywhere. Eventually, I found this tiny little picture. It is still exquisite, but it wasn't and I was so disappointed because I had this idea that it was one of these giant size paintings. But I didn't take the enjoyment of the actual picture itself. It was just the letdown that it was so small. You can also listen to opera. You can go and visit places. Maybe you want to go and visit different islands. Type in island holidays, and up will come a myriad of island holidays that you can go and look at and say, oh, yes, this one would be nice. No, that one's not what I want to do. That one's a little too crowded. No, this one's perfect. You can then work out a, a, an imaginary or a future travel. And that's a lovely thing to do. You've then got something to look forward to. The last one is if you want to do a safari. You can go onto the website and see different animals, but on the website I give you in my notes, it actually gives you different water holes that have a camera 24 hours a day. So you can click on that water hole and see what is visiting that water hole at that minute in time. And I usually have 3 or 4 up at the top, and I just click in and see if there's anything at any of the water holes that I like. And during the day, I'll see different animals coming down to drink. And so that is really awesome. Anybody got any thoughts? Anybody got any ideas? Would you like to make your bucket list for the future? Victoria, would you like to make a bucket list for the future?
I'm not sure.
Well, the idea is to look around and then something will go, aha, and you go, yeah, I'd like that. And then you can click on that and save that website for a later date. Elaine, would you like to go and think about a bucket list of where to travel to?
Well, I keep files of places that I want to go. So, if I have magazines or newspapers and articles
Right.
come about these places, I cut it out, I put it in that file. So
Fantastic.
it's kind of, my
Yep.
bucket, yeah.
Your bucket list, your
Mhm,
travel list. Yeah, lovely. You can put it in a file or put it in a flip file, and then you can just page through it. You can sit and have coffee or tea and page through it and think, oh, yeah, this one I'm definitely going to, and I really want to see this or that. And it's a lovely way of working through.
Right.
It really is. Right. And Vivian, is there anything you would like to go and see or do? You can type it in if you like. Okay, so now exploring mindfulness. Well, for me, mindfulness, I understood mindfulness as meditation. And I have a very active mind. I really battle to meditate. I'm getting there slowly, but I just keep wandering off. But mindfulness actually is all 5 senses. Using as many of your senses wherever you are and whatever you're doing. So if you are walking in nature, you would touch some of the grasses. You would smell the scent of the grasses that are growing in the trees. You would be able to see the beautiful things. You would smell the different scents and aromas. So you're hearing your birds singing. So seeing, hearing, touching, the only one you don't do is taste unless you find some safe berries that you can eat. But don't eat anything you don't know. Make sure you've got something that is safe to eat before you try eating something from the bush where you are walking. There are plenty things you can do, but just be very careful. There is an app on the iPhone where you can um, put your camera over it and put your phone over it. It shows what it is and it tells you about it. So that would then help a lot it's called Google Lens. It's part of Google. You could actually have it on any phone. It's called Google Lens. And that's very useful because anything we don't know as we're walking through the forest every day, we can just hold the phone over it and it'll tell us what it is. So that for us is really, really useful. You can smell the flowers. You touch the petals, you smell the scent of the flower, you see the beautiful flower. You're using 3 of your senses. You can listen to music. Now, when you're listening to music, it calms you, particularly if you're listening to a Handel's water music. That really sets you into calmness and a creative mood as well. I did that with children when they were doing creative writing. The class that had the music on, they wrote far better stories than the other class. And when I swapped over and did the same the other way around, again, it was the class with the music that really gave me beautiful stories. So after that, every class had music. You can do your exercises. You are seeing the person, you're hearing the music that goes with the thing, and you are using your sense of touch as you touch different parts of your body, or you're stretching and doing. There's one thing that's not on here because there's no way of putting a picture for it, is I was taught this a few years ago, and had I known it when I was younger, it would have helped me so much. And that is, if you are irritated, upset, sad, any kind of negative emotion, what you do is you say either out loud or in your head, if you're in a crowd of people, I like myself, not love myself, like myself, 5 times. And by the time you get to number 5, you are smiling. There is just no way that you can't be. I like myself. 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 Now, the problem is still there, but it is in the background. You have now got a positive look on it, and it doesn't disappear, but it becomes less important. And so you are able to you can now cope with whatever was irritating you or upsetting you. And we use it often, and I've taught it to my classes, my grandchildren, and it has been of such value to them that whenever something irritates, I say, what do you say? I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. Are you okay now? Yeah, I think I am. I can see this, and it just changes the attitude. So it is a lovely, quick, easy way of getting on top of things that might be upsetting or irritating you. Dragon breathing is a very good way of clearing your lungs and getting fresh oxygen into your body. What you do is you sit up straight, take a very deep breath in, as deep as you can, make your tongue into almost like a little chute for the air to come out of, and breathe out through that. It funnels that air out just like a dragon would do. And if you do that 3 times, you'll be amazed how you feel. Let's try it. Are you ready? Breathe in. Make your tongue out, 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 all the way. And in. Ready? All the way out. Now your body has taken in your whole lung, all your lungs. Every little alveoli has taken in fresh oxygen. And suddenly you are feeling more wide awake, more alive. Now, one thing I forgot to tell you, when you're listening to anything, or if somebody speaks to you and you can't quite hear them, there's a wonderful trick you can do. It's called brain gym. You take your 2 fingers, your thumb and your finger, you pinch them over your ear, and you rub all the way around your ear, all the way to the bottom and all the way back to the top. And when you've done that twice, suddenly you can hear things so much clearer. It's because you have stimulated all those little sensors at the edge of your ear, and you can really hear clearly. It's a lovely way of doing it. You've also got meditation. And then finally, I'd like to leave you with the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of mindfulness. Stand somewhere different every day. and look for 5 things that you can see and things that you maybe miss when you're just passing. So look carefully and choose 5 things. Then find 4 things you can touch with different textures and see what you can feel and touch. Listen carefully. What can I hear? I can hear a car. I can hear a bird. I can hear the music next door. I can hear my washing machine. Just what can you hear? Then take a deep. What can I smell? Is there any aroma in this room today at all? No, I can't smell anything. I need to put a plant in this room. So there's a lovely aroma coming in. And lastly, something to taste. You might have to walk to another room and taste something different every day, something sweet or something salty or something savory, not bitter. What's that word that I'm looking for? Sweet, sour, and then something that is bitter. So using all your taste bud sensations around the side of your tongue is a lovely way to reawaken your body. It helps your whole body to refocus. And that is, for me, very important. Well, that is the last of my slides. If you would like a copy of the recording, please request one at help@getsetup. If you are interested in making and doing things, I've got my adult classes now using toilet rolls and pegs and sucker sticks. I have children's ones and adult ones. So there's lots of things to do. I'm going to stop sharing now. Anybody got anything they would like to say? There's some more dragon breathing. Yes, you breathe in as best you can and go as long as you can to be able to do it. All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you came away with one thing from this whole session that you would like to do or try. Victoria, is there anything you'd like to try?
Breathing.
Breathing. Great. Lovely one. Elaine?
Oh, no, I do so much of these things already.
Well, that's okay. Maybe it just reawakens something you'd
Right.
forgotten.
Right.
Great.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's
Thank
excellent.
you.
Excellent. And thank you so much for being in class. I hope to maybe see you again in another class. Thank you, James, for all the little tidbits you put in the chat box. Much appreciated. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank
Bye for
you,
now.
Cynthia. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.